Our love story wasn't one of grand gestures or lavish gifts. It was forged in the crucible of poverty, a shared struggle against a world that seemed determined to keep us down. We met in a small, run-down diner, both of us working 2 jobs just to make ends meet, our dreams as threadbare as our clothes. He was charming, with a quick wit and a smile that could melt the coldest heart, a flicker of hope in the bleak landscape of our lives. I was drawn to his resilience, his unwavering belief that we could make a better life for ourselves, that together we could escape the clutches of destitution. We spoke of a future where we wouldn't have to worry about the next meal, where our children would have everything we never did, a life filled with warmth, security, and the simple joys we had been denied. We married in a simple ceremony, our vows whispered promises of a lifetime, of shared burdens and unwavering support, our rings fashioned from salvaged metal, symbols of our enduring commitment. We were poor, but we had each other, and that, we believed, was enough. We clung to the hope that our love, strong and unyielding, would be the foundation upon which we built a better tomorrow. When we discovered I was pregnant, his initial reaction was a mix of fear and a renewed determination. He spoke of working harder, of finding more jobs, of building a small home with his own hands, a place where our growing family would be safe and warm. I believed him. I believed in us. I believed in the promise of a better tomorrow, a tomorrow that now included a tiny, innocent life. NNBUT, even then, in the midst of our shared dreams, a subtle shift began, a barely perceptible tremor in the foundation of our love. His initial determination slowly began to curdle into a quiet anxiety, a simmering resentment that I initially dismissed as the natural fear of impending fatherhood. He became increasingly preoccupied with the financial implications, the sheer scale of providing for a growing family. His once bright eyes, full of dreams, began to cloud with worry, then with a growing despair. He started spending more and more time away from home, his excuses becoming increasingly vague, his presence in our cramped apartment more fleeting. Our once intimate conversations became strained, punctuated by his distracted silences and my desperate attempts to rekindle the spark that seemed to be dimming. He started drinking, at first just a little, then more and more, his escape from the crushing weight of reality. When he was home, his touch, once so comforting and passionate, became perfunctory, almost clinical. I tried to talk to him, to bridge the growing chasm between us, to remind him of the dreams we had shared, of the love that had brought us to this miraculous point. But he would simply nod, offer a non-committal grunt, and retreat further into himself, his eyes distant, his thoughts miles away. The small room we had envisioned as a nursery, once a vibrant space filled with our shared hopes, began to feel cold and empty despite the anticipation of a new life. The whispers of doubt, once easily dismissed, grew louder, a discordant note in the symphony of my burgeoning motherhood. I told myself it was stress, the immense pressure of providing for such a large family. I clung to the image of the man who had held me, tears in his eyes, promising our football team. But the man who stood before me now was a stranger, his heart a fortress I could no longer penetrate. The grand design was fracturing, and I, alone, was left to pick up the pieces, carrying not just one life, but the crushing weight of a love that was slowly, irrevocably dying. The first few years were hard, a relentless struggle against the unforgiving grip of poverty. We scrimped and saved, dreaming of the day we could finally escape the clutches of destitution. But then the babies started coming, one after another, each a precious gift, a tiny beacon of hope in our bleak existence. But with each new mouth to feed, the weight of reality pressed down harder, crushing the fragile dreams we had once shared. He started to change, subtly at first, then with an alarming speed. The charming, resilient man I had married began to crumble under the relentless pressure of providing for a growing family. He found solace in the bottom of a bottle his dreams replaced by a desperate need to escape the harsh realities of our lives. The laughter that once filled our tiny home was replaced by the clinking of bottles and the bitter taste of his disappointment, his frustration, his growing despair. He would disappear for days, sometimes weeks, only to return with empty pockets and a vacant stare, his body reeking of stale alcohol and cheap tobacco. I tried to hold on, to remind him of the dreams we once shared, of the promises we had made, of the innocent lives that depended on us. But his eyes were glazed over, his mind lost in a haze of alcohol, his soul slowly unraveling under the weight of his own failures. He blamed me for our growing family, for the burden of so many mouths to feed, his words a constant barrage of insults and accusations. I was a failure, a burden, a drain on his already meager resources. I tried to reason with him, to tell him that we could find a way, that we could still make a life for ourselves, for our children. But he wouldn't hear of it. He was consumed by his own self-pity, his own despair, his own desperate need to escape the reality he had helped create. An NTHE winter was particularly harsh that year, a brutal, unforgiving season that seemed to mirror the coldness that had settled in our home. The wind howled through the cracks in the walls, seeping into our bones, a constant reminder of our desperate situation. I bundled my growing belly in every scrap of fabric I could find, trying to protect the life within me from the biting chill. My other daughters, their faces pale and drawn, huddled together for warmth, their small bodies shivering despite the meager fire in the hearth. The blankets, our only defense against the brutal cold, were already thin and worn, patched and repatched countless times. And then the day came. 8 tiny heartbeats, a symphony of life that filled the cramped room. 8 girls, each one a miracle, a testament to the strength of a mother's love. But as I held them close, their tiny bodies shivering against mine, I realized the blankets were gone. All of them. He had sold them for a fleeting moment of oblivion, for another bottle, another escape from the crushing weight of his own failures. My daughters, my precious, innocent girls, were shivering into life, their first moments on earth marked by the bitter cold and the profound absence of a father's warmth. And I, their mother, was powerless to protect them from the biting chill, from the cruel indifference of the man who should have been their shield. My tears, hot and silent, mingled with the cold sweat of exhaustion, a bitter stream against the stark reality of our abandonment. Each tiny shiver from my newborns was a dagger to my heart, a constant reminder of the warmth he had stolen, the comfort he had denied. The world outside was a blur of snow and ice, and inside, a deeper, more profound cold had settled, a cold that promised a long, arduous journey ahead, a journey I would embark on alone, with 8 innocent lives, depending solely on my shattered strength. Section 3. The silent cries and the awakening of a mother's fury and MY cries were silent, swallowed by the vastness of my despair, by the overwhelming sense of helplessness that threatened to consume me. I couldn't afford to break, not now. My daughters needed me. I wrapped them in my arms, my body a shield against the cold, my tears a silent prayer for warmth, for strength, for a miracle. The nurses, their faces etched with pity and concern, brought us old clothes, a few worn blankets, a pot of warm soup. Their kindness was a balm to my wounded soul, a flicker of hope in the darkness. But the shame burned within me, a constant reminder of my husband's betrayal, of my inability to protect my own children from the harsh realities of a world that seemed determined to crush us. My daughters, my precious, innocent girls, were shivering into life, and I, their mother, was powerless to protect them from the cold, from him. The silence of their cries, the unspoken suffering in their tiny faces, ignited a fierce, primal fury within me, a rage that burned hotter than any fire, a determination that would not be extinguished. NNTHAT night, as I lay awake, listening to the soft breathing of my daughters, a fierce resolve ignited within me. I would not let him destroy us. I would not let his weakness define our lives. I would find a way to protect my children, to give them the life they deserved, a life filled with warmth, security, and the simple joys he had denied them. The next morning I went to the local church, my heart heavy with shame, but my resolve unwavering. I explained my situation, my voice trembling with emotion, but my eyes burning with a newfound determination. The pastor listened patiently, his eyes filled with compassion, his words a gentle balm to my wounded soul. He offered me a small room in the church basement, a warm place for my daughters to sleep, a sanctuary from the biting cold and the cruel indifference of the world outside. He found me odd jobs, cleaning, cooking, anything to earn a few dollars, to put food on the table, to keep my children warm. It was a struggle, a constant uphill battle against poverty and prejudice, but with each passing day, I felt a little stronger, a little more hopeful. The kindness of strangers, the unwavering support of the church community became a lifeline, a beacon of hope in the darkness that had consumed my world. I was no longer alone. I had my daughters, and I had a community that believed in us, a community that would help us fight for a better tomorrow. The silent cries of my daughters had awakened a mother's fury, a fierce, unyielding determination that would not be silenced, a strength that would carry us through the darkest of winters. Section 4. The long winter and the seeds of resilience and winter stretched on, long and unforgiving, but we faced it with a newfound strength, a quiet determination that defied the biting cold. The small room in the church basement became our sanctuary, a haven of warmth and safety. My daughters, though still tiny, seemed to sense the shift, their cries less frequent, their smiles more abundant. They huddled together for warmth, their small bodies a comforting presence against mine, their innocent faces a constant reminder of the lives I was fighting for. I worked tirelessly, cleaning the church, cooking for the soup kitchen, taking on any odd job that came my way. My hands were raw, my body ached, but my spirit remained unbroken. The kindness of the community was a constant source of strength, their generosity, a testament to the inherent goodness in humanity. They brought us clothes, food, even a few worn toys for my daughters, their compassion a stark contrast to the cruelty I had experienced. I learned to stretch every penny, to make a meal out of almost nothing, to mend clothes until they were threadbare. I became an expert at multitasking, rocking one baby with my foot while feeding another, reading a story to 3 while changing a 4th. My home, though small and humble, was filled with the vibrant energy of 8 growing children, a symphony of giggles, cries, and the constant patter of little feet. The crucible of poverty, once a source of despair, became the fertile ground for resilience, for strength, for an unwavering determination to not just survive, but to thrive. Then as the days slowly lengthened and the first signs of spring began to emerge, I felt a renewed sense of hope. The long winter had tested us, but it had not broken us. It had, instead, forged an unbreakable bond between me and my daughters, a bond strengthened by shared hardship and unwavering love. They were growing, learning, their personalities blossoming with each passing day. They were curious, intelligent, and fiercely independent, their spirits unyielding. They were a testament to the power of resilience, to the strength of a family forged in adversity. They knew the story of their birth, of their father's rejection, of the day his cruelty mixed with my tears. And instead of bitterness, it instilled in them a deep empathy, a profound understanding of the human condition, and an unwavering commitment to justice and kindness. They learned to find joy in the simple things, to cherish genuine connections, and to value the strength of family above all else. They were a symphony of voices, each one strong and clear, a stark contrast to the silenced cries of their infancy. They spoke out against injustice, advocated for the vulnerable, and used their experiences to inspire others. They became a beacon of hope, a testament to the power of the human spirit to overcome even the most profound trauma. My daughters, once silenced by my pain, now use their voices to create a better world, a world where no child would be born into such cruelty, where no mother would suffer in silence. Their resilience was a constant source of pride for me, a living testament to the strength that had blossomed from the ashes of my shattered dreams. The scars remained, but they were now badges of honor, symbols of survival, reminders of the battles we had fought and won. And in their vibrant lives, I found my own healing, my own redemption. The symphony of their voices, once silenced by my cries, now filled my world with a melody of hope and triumph. Years turned into decades, and my 8 daughters blossomed into remarkable young women, each a testament to their resilience and the unwavering love that had nurtured them. They were bright, compassionate, and fiercely independent, their spirits unyielding. They pursued diverse paths, some becoming doctors, others artists, teachers, or advocates for social justice, each making their own unique mark on the world. Their laughter filled our home, now a vibrant hub of activity, with grandchildren running through the halls, a testament to the enduring power of family. They knew their story, of a father who had inflicted such cruelty, of a mother who had fought tirelessly to give them a life filled with love and opportunity. But instead of bitterness, it instilled in them a deep empathy, a profound understanding of the human condition, and an unwavering commitment to justice and kindness. They learned to find joy in the simple things, to cherish genuine connections, and to value the strength of family above all else. They were a symphony of voices, each one strong and clear, a stark contrast to the silenced cries of their infancy. They spoke out against injustice, advocated for the vulnerable, and used their experiences to inspire others. They became a beacon of hope, a testament to the power of the human spirit to overcome even the most profound trauma. My daughters, once silenced by my pain, now used their voices to create a better world, a world where no child would be born into such cruelty, where no mother would suffer in silence. Their resilience was a constant source of pride for me, a living testament to the strength that had blossomed from the ashes of my shattered dreams. The scars remained, but they were now badges of honor, symbols of survival, reminders of the battles we had fought and won. And in their vibrant lives, I found my own healing, my own redemption. The symphony of their voices, once silenced by my cries, now filled my world with a melody of hope and triumph. NNBUT, the scars remained, unseen, but deeply etched into my soul. The memory of his rage, the sound of my bones breaking, the chilling echo of his laughter, these were wounds that time could not fully heal. I would often wake in the dead of night, bathed in a cold sweat, the phantom pain of his blows a vivid reality. I saw the fear in my daughters' eyes sometimes, a fleeting shadow that reminded me of the trauma they had witnessed, even as newborns. I sought therapy, a safe space to process the trauma, to heal the unseen wounds. It was a long and painful process, but with each session I felt a little lighter, a little more whole. I learned to live with the scars, to see them not as symbols of my pain, but as testaments to my survival, to my strength. My daughters, too, carried their own unseen scars, the memory of their traumatic entry into the world. I encouraged them to speak about their feelings, to express their fears, to never let their voices be silenced. We healed together, a family bound not by blood alone, but by shared trauma and an unwavering commitment to love and support. The escape was not just physical. It was an escape from the psychological prison he had built, a journey towards emotional freedom and a life defined by our own terms, not his. And in that profound, agonizing moment, I knew that my journey had just begun, a journey I would embark on alone, with 5 innocent lives depending solely on my shattered strength, their cries silenced by the echo of my own pain. Section 6. The Harvest of Redemption and the Unseen Justice in Years Past. My daughters blossomed into strong, independent women, each pursuing their own dreams, making their own mark on the world. They were successful, compassionate, and fiercely loyal, their lives a vibrant tapestry woven with threads of love and determination. He, on the other hand, had withered. His family, disappointed by his lack of a male heir, had disowned him. His business ventures failed, his once grand life reduced to a lonely existence. He was a man consumed by bitterness, haunted by the choices he had made. He would occasionally appear, a ghost from a past I had long since buried, his eyes filled with a hollow regret. He saw my daughters, now grown, and in their success, he saw his own failure. He saw the love that radiated from them, the joy that filled their lives, and he knew it was a happiness he would never experience. He had wanted a legacy, an heir to carry on his name, but his name would now be synonymous with cruelty, with a profound lack of humanity. My daughters, on the other hand, carried a different legacy, a legacy of strength, of compassion, of unwavering love. They were the living embodiment of justice, their vibrant lives a stark contrast to his desolate existence. Their success, their happiness, their ability to love and connect deeply were the ultimate retribution, a silent, powerful testament to the triumph of good over evil. The unseen justice was not in his downfall, but in our rise, in the beautiful, thriving lives we had built from the ashes of his destruction. And in that profound realization, I found a peace that transcended all pain, a peace that affirmed the enduring power of love and the unwavering truth that justice, in its purest form, always finds its way. Now, I never sought revenge. I never wished him ill. My focus was always on my daughters, on building a life for them that was filled with love and joy, a life free from the shadow of his cruelty. But justice, I learned, has a way of finding its own path, often in the most unexpected ways. His life, devoid of genuine connection, became a living testament to the emptiness of a soul consumed by anger and selfishness. His empire, built on a foundation of cold ambition, eventually crumbled, leaving him with nothing but the bitter taste of his own failures. He had wanted a legacy, an heir to carry on his name, but his name would now be synonymous with cruelty, with a profound lack of humanity. My daughters, on the other hand, carried a different legacy, a legacy of strength, of compassion, of unwavering love. They were the living embodiment of justice, their vibrant lives, a stark contrast to his desolate existence. Their success, their happiness, their ability to love and connect deeply were the ultimate retribution, a silent, powerful testament to the triumph of good over evil. The unseen justice was not in his downfall, but in our rise, in the beautiful, thriving lives we had built from the ashes of his destruction. And in that profound realization, I found a peace that transcended all pain, a peace that affirmed the enduring power of love and the unwavering truth that justice, in its purest form, always finds its way. Nemen Section 7, The Enduring Legacy and the Triumph of Lovin'. One day, a letter arrived. It was from a lawyer informing me that my husband had passed away. He had left nothing behind, no money, no property, nothing but a small, worn photograph of our wedding day. My daughters, now grown women, stood by my side as I read the letter. There was no sadness, no grief, only a quiet understanding. They had made their own way in the world, strong, independent women who had overcome every obstacle life had thrown their way. They had built successful careers, raised loving families, and lived lives filled with purpose and meaning. They were everything he was not. And in that moment, I realized that justice had found its way to us, not in the form of punishment, but in the form of redemption. My daughters, who had shivered into life, had blossomed into women of strength and grace, their lives a testament to the power of a mother's love, a love that had triumphed over the coldest winter, over the deepest betrayal. And as I looked at them, my heart swelled with a pride so profound it warmed me from the inside out. The cold was gone, replaced by the warmth of their love, a warmth that would last a lifetime. The true gold was not in the ring he had crushed, but in the unbreakable bond of our family, a bond that would last an eternity. My cries, once silenced by his cruelty, had become the silent strength that carried us forward, a testament to the resilience of a mother's heart. My daughters, once born into a world of pain, had blossomed into women of unwavering strength and compassion, their lives a vibrant testament to the true legacy of a mother's unwavering love. And in that moment, as I looked at my beautiful, thriving family, I knew that the true legacy was not in the physical scars he had left, but in the unbroken spirit that had emerged from the crucible of pain. It was in the laughter of my grandchildren, the unwavering support of my children, the quiet strength that had carried me through the darkest of times. It was a legacy of love, resilience, and the profound truth that even in the face of the deepest betrayal, the human spirit can not only survive, but flourish, creating a tapestry of life more beautiful and meaningful than any grand design. My miracle, once met with rejection, had become my salvation and the enduring testament to the power of a mother's unwavering love.